Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
How long was Neil Armstrong actually on the moon? When did Europe start speaking English? Did Marco Polo really go to China? CuriosityStream is the streaming service for all things history, plus science, wildlife, and more. What's the real story behind the Mona Lisa? We've got that. What caused the collapse of Rome? We know. Where did we find mankind's earliest ancestor? Come find out. For the holidays, give the gift of curiosity with 25% off gift cards for your curious cohorts. It's holiday shopping season at curiositystream.com/gift.
Hello, my paranormal peeps. Bear with me for just a second. I gotta rearrange the microphone a little bit here. All right. So, welcome back to the Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the founder and lead investigator with Deep Woods Paranormal. I've been researching the paranormal for over 30 years. Started in my early teens. Experiencing things my whole life. The whole reason I got into ghost hunting and Bigfoot and all this other stuff was basically the ghost hunting was basically just to satisfy my curiosity, what was going on, why things were happening around me that I couldn't explain. That scared me too. The ghosts around me would do mean things, and I don't think they were trying to scare me, but they just would not leave me alone. That's still the fact to this day. Now I'm not scared of them anymore. It's more like, okay, why did you do that? Or, oh my gosh, why did you knock that off the shelf? Which happened the other night. Heavy item just flew off the shelf. It's just so frustrating. Anyways, and then Bigfoot, I always say, if you're, I don't care what it is, what paranormal creature or whatever, you have to have an experience where you can say that couldn't have been anything else but. And I don't mean just, I think I saw something, or I think I heard something, or I could have been. I mean, you have an encounter where, like I said just a minute ago, something comes flying off the shelf, and it's not physically possible for that item to have come flying off the shelf. You see strange lights in the sky that can't be a plane, a helicopter, any other type of flying device, and you can identify it as something that might be unidentified. Excuse me. You have a sighting or an encounter of some sort with a Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever you want to call them. There's so many names for them, but that's what I mean by that. You have to have that encounter where you can say it couldn't have been anything else but. And that's basically what it took for me to believe in Bigfoot. I've talked about this many times, but until my first sighting, I just thought it was something that parents told kids to scare them out of the woods at night. So, and I watched all those shows as a kid, unidentified flying objects and whatever else. It was, what was it? Unsolved Mysteries. There were so many shows. But there was a lot of shows that I watched. The X-Files, of course. Big X-File junkie. Still am. Still go back and watch them to this day. Hopefully they'll maybe come back in the future. I've heard that they might be shooting new episodes. So for any X-Files fans out there, let's keep praying they come back. All right. So, again, a lot of questions. Everybody keeps asking about Bigfoots. So I'm going to kind of start with something else first, and then I'll get into that. What I want to start with is talking about the witching hour, which is ghost related. Amanda and I have both recently been experiencing strange dreams, and being awoken between 3 and 5, or multiple times between 3 and 5 a.m. in the morning for no reason. Um, I saw that guy in the suit about 3 weeks ago. Um, just a full body apparition just appeared to me. He looked solid, and then he was gone. He was there and he was gone. I mean, just full on. I saw him with my eyes straight in front of me. He was there, and then he was gone. And I'm like, he didn't run anywhere. He didn't do anything. He just disappeared. Don't have no explanation for that. Can't debunk it. Can't figure out. There was no cars coming by at the point in time. It was out in somebody's driveway. And since then, I've heard my name called multiple times. Had my hearing aids have interference. I think my hearing aids, they use my hearing aids like an audio recorder or a spirit box. They like to try and manipulate the noise that's coming in and create voices. So it's just another way for them to communicate with me, which I don't really like. I don't want them to use those. I don't want them to damage my hearing aids or anything like that. So, anyways, I awoke to Matthew the other night. That was about 2 weeks ago. This is just right after I saw this gentleman. And then also Amanda had a dream of she looked like a Hollywood celebrity or something. She was in a long black dress. She had yellow hair, according to Amanda, or blonde, if you will. If you can see right behind me, if you're watching this, you can see there's a pair of binoculars. They're actually skepticals for theaters. She started experiencing things after those came into the house. She did. Dreaming of the same woman night after night, and then being awakened between 3 and 5 in the morning. Now, granted, some of that's our dogs wanting to go outside or whatever, or having to get up in the middle of the night and do your business. But yeah, I mean, so, and then also, if you can see behind me, we also have an antique doll that we got from a location. I picked it up just because it felt like it had some kind of energy to it. I was looking to bring an actual haunted doll into the house. Now, I don't know if she's haunted or not. We've tried using the spirit box to let her communicate, but I think whatever's attached to the spectacles was more, or the glasses to the left of the doll, is what came through more. There seems to be a stronger attachment, if you will, to those. So it could be that tall, lanky lady that Amanda sees, or whatever. But last night, I actually woke up to what smelled like it was some kind of like an old cologne that a man would wear, and it just woke me up. And I'm like, what does that smell? And I thought it smelled like my beard oil, to be honest with you. It's kind of like an ointment, or, like a some kind of oil, beard oil, if you smell the different beard oils. But it didn't smell like the ones that I use. It had a different smell to it. I've been in several old buildings and smelled old smells from these buildings, and that's what it smelled like. It smelled like an antique, some kind of clone or something that they would have in those buildings. It was more kind of a musky smell, kind of a musky male smell, like I said, that somebody would wear in the past. So, the witching hour. I'm not a big believer in the witching hour. And the reason I don't really believe in it too much is because I experience activity any time of the day or night. It doesn't really matter. It can be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, midnight. It could be, 6 a.m. It could be any time. I hear, see, and sometimes smell things that appear and then disappear as fast as they came in. So, since we brought those two items in the house, we've had a lot of strange experiences. Both of us. Amanda, she's had a lot of dreams. I do believe that she's more on the psychic side of things. me, I'm just haunted. Things seem to like me, and they seem to like to communicate with me, so that's cool. But on the other side of that coin, it's like, okay, that it never shuts off. It's always going. There's always some kind of strange activity usually happening, and when there's non-activity, I'm scratching my head, going, okay, why is it so quiet? Why does it feel so empty in here? And as I'm talking, there's a cold spot on my back, like somebody's touching my back, the middle of my back, probably standing on the right side of me. If you're watching this, you can see the goosebumps on my arm. I'm getting chills down my right side. So they seem to like it when I talk about them. They seem to enjoy that. They seem to enjoy using the spirit box more. Now, I don't know why we're getting so many crazy things coming through the spirit box these days, that we can understand. If you watched the old jail investigation, part 1, you can see that or you can hear, excuse me, not see, but you can see and hear them using the spirit box and the K2 meters and just going nuts. Okay, so anyways, I wanted to talk about the witching hour just a little bit. I'm starting to believe that could be more of a time frame that, yes, they say.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
That's when the veil is the thinnest, and the veil is just supposedly a barrier between our worlds or our dimensions or whatever you want to call it. At this point in time, everything's just theory. So if you're sitting there rolling your eyes and going, this guy's crazy, I completely understand.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
I mean, like I said, you have to experience it before you really believe it. So yeah, I mean, I've had dreams of people that I've never met either. Now, as a kid, oh my god, as a kid, I was tormented. I mean, I was totally tormented by these things. God, the whispering, the nonstop whispering, or hearing "get out, get out, get out" nonstop, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get rid of it. Or just seeing the shadows move around the room, seeing objects move, feeling somebody shake the bed or try and physically pull me out of bed. And I had a bunk bed. I was sleeping on the top bunk, or stealing my pillow, and then crawling down on my tummy down the ladder, trying to reach down and grab the pillow and have it get yanked. That was my childhood. I mean, I experienced these things. It became so bad that I couldn't sleep with the lights off, and even when I did try and go to sleep, I mean it was difficult. I didn't get much sleep at night. So, anyways, all right, so let's switch gears here. A lot of people really want to know about our Bigfoot research. Amanda and I are doing a lot of it right now. I'm going to be going out this coming weekend, and then I think Amanda and I are going to go out and do an expedition for 2 nights out in the Sam Houston National Forest, unless we pick a different location. So that's going to probably happen. And we're going to take the dogs and just go hang out in the woods and see what we experience at night. We're going to go into places where we hopefully will experience something. I think the dogs, especially Mama Dog, um, I don't have a lot of pictures or video of Mama Dog, but the 4 dogs are rescues that we have. Mama Dog and Shorty both came from Joe's camp. I'm not going to get into that, but he allowed us to take them. And then Chance was also picked up at on the road where he lives. We were actually driving up to his camp when this dog darted across the road in front of us. Honestly, I thought it was a ghost because he's a kind of a light tan color, and he has white mixed in with that. So he looked like a ghost. I mean, this road it's a single lane highway, forest on both sides. He comes running out of the forest, pitch black. All I see is this white blur go across the road, and I stopped, and I look back in my mirror, and I can on my mirror on the left, the driver's side mirror, and I can see him. He had just stopped. He had walked down the road and stopped, and he was kind of limping. So I thought he had gotten hit, and I was like, okay, we gotta go save this dog because that's what we do. Amanda and I rescue so many animals; it's not even funny. But essentially, I parked the car in the middle of the freaking road just to make sure this dog was okay. This is at 2:00 in the morning. There's nobody coming either way. I mean, perfect place to have a Sasquatch experience, and which is what we were going to do. We were going back up to Joe's. And then essentially, as soon as I got out, this dog starts running towards me. And I'm like, okay, is he going to attack me? Because some of the dogs up in that area seem to be a little more aggressive. They're not really brought into the house much and stuff. But as soon as Amanda opens her door, that dog, and she had just gotten out, that dog hops up into the car, and he came with us. So, Mama Dog, like I said, grew up on Joe's property with Bigfoots coming right down to where she was. I showed her a picture of a Bigfoot, and she growled at it the other day. Chance, I'm sure, I don't know how he's going to react. But then we have Shorty, who was her puppy. I mean, he's not old enough to remember Bigfoots. He was 3 months old when we rescued him. But we'll take them up there, and Tink, of course, the little one you hear screaming all the time in the background. Any little noise you hear, she's just a little min pin. Mama and Shorty are kind of wiener dogs, but they're tall. They're tall wiener dogs, and they've got shepherd in them. And I think Shorty has some Rottweiler in him. He's got the Rottweiler colors. He's kind of like a Doberman color. He looks like a bigger Tink, except he's a lot taller and a lot longer than she is. And then Chance is just a big, white, hairy dog. He's kind of a larger dog. He's not super big, but he's about 50 pounds. and he's just got long hair, and they're all just sweethearts. They're really good dogs. We love the hell out of them. Okay, so let's get back to the Bigfoot stuff. So we're planning on taking them up to places where we think there might be Bigfoot activity. I've got a few spots picked out. We'll probably do some night investigations. People say, why don't you ever go bushwhacking into the forest? Well, we do a lot, but we don't have a lot of activity when we do that. A lot of the times what we do is we find places where people have had activity before, and they're remote. They're not like on a main highway, or they're not next to any homes or whatever. And there's actual roads that go right through. And then also I think I've talked about the power lines, and where the oil pipelines run under the ground, and any utility that runs through the forest, they clear it. Not the whole forest, but they clear maybe 25 feet wide. And if you're listening and you do this for a living, you're probably going, no, it's this, but I'm guesstimating. It's pretty wide. And my guess is, well, people have seen them walking along these paths because it's wide open and it's mowed and it's flat. A lot of the time it's flat, or it's easy terrain to walk on. It's like a Bigfoot highway, if you will. So, I mean, the last time we were up there in one of those areas, off the beaten path, we had some luck up there. On the video, we had the video facing us. Those, whatever it was, walked right in between us and then walked back out of the camera. And it wasn't until I saw the motion that I stopped it and went, what the heck? And then all of a sudden I realized there's two eyes standing behind us, about 15 feet behind us. I know exactly where it was. And so, I can't say that was a Bigfoot. I don't know what that was, but it was about it was in between my height and Amanda's height. Amanda's she says she's 5'4", but I don't think she's that tall. I'm 6'2". So right about my nose level is where it was. So maybe around the 5'6" level or so. My only guess is that it possibly was a juvenile Bigfoot, and maybe it was in charge of scouting for the night and keeping an eye out for people intruding. Because when we got to that area, down the road, you hear these screams out of nowhere. It didn't sound like a normal Bigfoot scream, but it was like a warning sign. And that's the same area where a Bigfoot walked out of the trees onto the road, saw us, and then walked right back in. And then a little while later, the other people that were with us were down another road, and they saw movement, and this thing, I think they spotlighted it, and this thing basically stood up right in front of them and walked away. So, yeah, a lot of people don't realize that Bigfoots will belly crawl. They'll basically be in a bear crawl position. They do a lot of strange things. They walk, they're trying to make themselves look like they're not a Bigfoot. They put their arms up in opposite directions, kind of like doing the Egyptian, legs out, and they try and look like a tree. And a lot of the times, because of the way they look, I mean, if they're 30, 40 feet away from you, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. They just look like, the forest doesn't look green from a distance. It looks black because of all the shade of the trees. And so these animals usually have dark color fur, and they blend right in. They're perfectly set up for their environment. Okay. So, people ask, what gear do you use for Bigfoot or Sasquatch research? We use a lot of different gear. We use 2 different thermal cameras. One only takes pictures. It's an old Swiss military thermal imager that I got for a good price, so I bought it. I was hoping it said on the description it had video, but when I got it, it didn't. So I got a discount because they basically lied in the description and they didn't want me to return it. So, and then our best friend Kathy donated a thermal imager that does actually record and it's really cool. You can flip through the different settings to change it to different colors, so it picks up heat in different colors and stuff like that, which is important because sometimes what people don't realize about thermals is if you have it on the yellow and the red or whatever, sometimes you can't see anything. It all looks the same. If it's really hot out, like it gets out hot here in Texas, you're in the middle of the forest, you're sitting there, it's humid, and you're sitting there dripping as you're going. The thermal sees the same thing. It's almost all red. It's all different shades of red, so it's really hard to tell. So sometimes you have to flip it to purple and black or different colors to be able to really see what you're looking at. We use night vision binoculars. We have, I think, 3 pairs, and they all see in night vision. They all have heavy duty IR, and essentially we can record with all of them, which is cool. We carry audio recorders. We usually have an audio recorder on. Sometimes I'll hang it around my neck. I'll have a necklace or something, and it'll hang down in the middle of my neck, or we'll try and set it somewhere so it doesn't get disturbed. If I'm wearing it around my neck, I'm not moving. I'm just standing still, mainly because I want to record my voice. Even though we have really good audio, we have really good mics and everything, for some reason at night, I mean, if you're more than 4 or 5 feet away from the camera, your voice just disappears. So we have to do a lot of voiceovers and stuff like that, sometimes with our audio, because you can't hear what we're saying. We never do that with any of our evidence. We never alter our evidence. If it's just too quiet to hear, then it's just too quiet to hear. It probably won't make it on our YouTube channel or onto a podcast or anything like that. But we've gotten tons of video evidence of them. We've gotten trap cam photos, trap cam video, and other things to document them as well. Eye shine, tree knocks, screams, you name it, we've got it on camera. The whoops. Christy experienced that at Joe's property. And then getting back into the gear here. What else do we carry? We carry a parabolic dish. Amanda has really good ears. Maybe a little bit above average hearing. I hear pretty good with my hearing aids. Mine are probably right at or just a little bit above normal hearing. I can turn my hearing aids up so I can hear even better. I can hear like every last thing. But the parabolic dish is insane. I mean, you put those headphones on, you can hear. I mean, she's heard something walking through the brush. And she can tell me exactly where it is, and I turn the camera that way to try and see if anything is going on, and it usually stops. And then we'll pan away, and then it'll start right back up. She'll start hearing it again. And that actually was the case in where those eyes came across right behind us, and then went back. And if you haven't seen that video on our YouTube channel, please go to Deep Woods Paranormal and visit our YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this podcast on our YouTube channel, you can go ahead and look through our Bigfoot videos. I'm going to try and move some of my older videos over from my other YouTube account if I can, and so you guys can see those too. But yeah, so what else do we use? We use a bat, of course, not for hurting anybody or anything, but for tree knocks. We have a normal sized bat. We have 2 child sized bats. The difference between the two is they make a different sound when you hit a tree. You can hit the same tree and get different knocks. One thing we noticed at Joe's camp when we were up there is that the knocks were not as loud as what we were making. So we tried to hit the tree just a little lighter, and it still wouldn't make the right noise. We were getting tree knocks back, but they sounded different than the ones we were making. Now, does that mean they were hitting a different tree, different type of tree, or a thicker or thinner tree, or, somebody told me one time that they use their hands. They smack their hands together to make that thud sound. I don't know. I've never seen that. I don't know if that's true or not, but, hitting trees, unfortunately, for you green people out there, I apologize. We never try and damage any trees or hurt any trees. We just use it. We hit it just hard enough to make a noise. So I've also got, believe it or not, I've got drumsticks. And the whole reason for that is we hear like a clicking sound, like rocks being clicked together. Now, I don't know if that's a noise that they're making with their mouth, like I just did, or if it's actually them clicking rocks together, or somebody even said they click their fingernails together. Now, again, I have no proof of that, but at this point, it's kind of interesting. So, and then let's see, what else do we carry? Of course, we have our evidence collection kit, paper bags and pens and collection sample things. For example, this little guy, this is the hair sample. Let's see if the camera can pick this up. Yeah, that camera can't pick that up, but there's actually a hair sample inside there. You can kind of see it rolling around with some skin. We're still looking for somebody to that we can trust to send that out to for DNA analysis. And then, of course, that tooth that the client found, but unfortunately it turned out to be a cow's tooth. So, even though we're clear next to Texas A&M, I've contacted them. I've gone through and asked them if there's anybody we can refer to. I've talked to the Bigfoot world. And a few people have sent me a couple of reliable people, and I just got to get that done. I got to get part of this sample sent out to them. I have to mask up, glove up, maybe wear a face shield so I don't breathe on the sample, and cut a little piece off. I don't want to send the whole thing, and I want to make sure that piece of hair and with the skin on it is connected to wherever I send it. So, or maybe half of it, so that essentially, if we don't get it back or they don't come back with any results, at least we still have another piece to send out somewhere else if we want to. So, evidence collection kit is a huge thing. I mean, we also have what's called dental mold that we carry. I know a lot of people use plaster casting, but we use dental mold that dries harder, and much faster, and seems to be a better thing to use, especially out in a wet climate like we're in. That'll dry and harden within about half an hour. I've talked about my experiences with plaster casting before at Bigfoot, doing Bigfoot research up in Black Star Canyon. So, somebody asked, what's your favorite piece of gear for Bigfoot research? I really like the audio recordings. I like to catch them screaming or the tree knocks or whatever. You haven't lived until you've had one happen like feet from you, and you're looking around, you're like, okay, where is this thing? And you can't find it. You just don't, it's just non-existent. It's insane. You hear, and all of a sudden you're looking around, you're like, okay, where did that just come from? I know where I thought I heard it come from, but there's nothing there. I can see the trees. I can see, you'd expect to see a huge, massive thing standing, somewhere ahead of you or around you, and it just happened real close to you. But, I mean, I can't find them anywhere. I don't know where they were. It happened twice. In fact, on Joe's camp, we went back, about 3 weeks ago now. I camped 2 nights on his property, and that happened right as I was walking through the bamboo forest. Something stepped on a piece of dead bamboo, and it was like feet from me. And I'm looking around. I panned around again. I think I've talked about this a little bit. We'll talk about that more when we actually do the video. But crazy crap. Anyways, so I like the audio recorder. I also like, we now have an old axe handle that we found. That thing makes a cool sounding tree knock. It is awesome. Really like that a lot. The parabolic dish, I think that's probably Amanda's favorite because she can actually hear things. She doesn't see as well as I do, but she can definitely hear. And it's really cool for her to experience that kind of stuff. Now she's, she's a skeptic at this point, which is awesome. I want her to keep skeptical until she has an encounter, like I said before, where she can say that couldn't have been anything but. Excuse me, I'm getting to drink my soda. So yeah, I mean, for those who have not had an experience, or think that we're all nuts for going out and investigating Bigfoot, and I've talked to many seasoned hunters who've been in the forest for 30 years. I've never seen anything. Well, to be honest with you, I think they avoid hunters. There's a reason I don't carry a weapon with me, besides a knife, of course. I choose my locations carefully that I'm going to go to. I do a lot of research before I go. I go and actually visually scout during the day to look for footprints or any other signs of Bigfoot before I go. And then, do a night investigation. And then, I make sure it's away from where people are hunting. Because the Bigfoots, they're smart. They know, that a hunter could gun them down. And I'm sure it's happened. But unfortunately, a lot of the times, things happen. Recently, I don't want to get into this too much, but recently I just talked to a guy. He swears upon the Bible that he and a friend shot and killed a dog man, or what they believe was a dog man. It wasn't human, and they don't think it was a Bigfoot. They were up in an area. They saw all kinds of slashes on the trees. Somebody had taken some fingernails and slashed 8 to 10 feet in the air up on these trees. And basically, they started hearing movement. They were carrying guns on them, and this thing came out of the brush, and they felt threatened. So unfortunately, they pulled the trigger multiple times. They shot it like 9 times, and it went down. And so they were walking back to their car to get something, and out of nowhere, 2 black SUVs show up. And these guys all dressed in black. Now, this is not the men in black, but guys dressed in black suits or black outfits or whatever they had on. I think they were more military fatigues. Pull up, and they walk up past them. Don't say anything to them. Walk up past them, and these guys turned around and started walking back up. And by the time they got there, everybody had disappeared. They started walking back down, and those cars were gone. They tried to approach the guys, and they wouldn't talk to them. They basically, they did talk to them. They threatened them. They said, you killed the bear, is what they told them. They wiped their phones. They had taken pictures of what they had killed. They took their phones out of their hands and wiped their phones and did a lot of the things, threatened if they ever posted anything to essentially kill them, kill their families, they would disappear, blah, blah, blah. So, that's just somebody else's story, but I believe it. I believe that they're trying to protect, I don't know if I think they're just trying to protect the fact that these things exist. I think the government knows, and I think they really are just trying to keep them at bay and not let anybody really ever document them for sure. That's why a lot of DNA samples disappear and stuff, and that's why I'm so concerned about sending this DNA sample in, because I don't want to have it disappear, especially if it comes back as something unique that they can't describe what it is. So this video is getting a little bit long. I'm going to go ahead and stop. But again, thank you for listening. On the next podcast, we've gotten so many questions, and thank you guys for sending them in. People want to know what's the difference between crypto creatures like dog man, lizard man, ram man, deer man. There's so many other types of creatures, crypto creatures, especially out here in Texas. I mean, all those things supposedly exist out here. Now, I've never seen a dog man. I've never seen a lizard man. I've never seen a ram man or a deer man. But I've talked to witnesses that have experienced them out here, especially along the Texas-Louisiana border. So, And then also we'll kind of talk about baiting and gifting next time for Bigfoots. What do we leave out? What kind of things do we leave? Where do we leave it? How long do we wait for them to come get it? And stuff like that. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to the Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast. We appreciate you. And we'll catch you on the next one. Stay haunted.